Hey all, so War 6 here, and as you can see, I once again have a completely different team. Carl is coming back, but I am also using Quicksilver for 3 different fights this war, and I'm pretty excited about that, honestly. I obviously love Reed. He is my favorite science champion, but I've been playing more with Quicksilver recently, getting used to him, and he's excellent. Speaking about this fight right now, I'll come back to him more generally later. You will notice that even though this is, what do you call it? Roll with the punches. I did parry heavy right at the beginning to get our momentum up that much faster. Basically, I'm not planning to heavy again. That was just a bit of a run on momentum, and then I figure I will be fine from there. Maybe I get up to 900, maybe not. But the plan is that this is, Mangog on a vanilla node. I'm not really worried. I'll have Withers up when I can. He'll throw some specials. If he gets to 10 of his charges and goes unstoppable and unblockable, I'm not going to care because this is Quicksilver and he has slow up for most of the fight. So we're just not worried. And that is why he's so good here. His whiplash puts the drip feed, node on cooldown, so we don't even have buffs on us. If we did have buffs on us, it would probably actually help us because it's so easy to keep withers up. We turn off unstoppable. We are not triggering mystic dispersion when we don't have withers. And we're doing all this damage without having really gone for a big detonation yet, and there it is. So yeah, really clean fight for that. And a lot of what I just said is part of why I have been enjoying using him more and why I was planning on bringing him into war. I'll say flat out, I have been underusing him as a planner. Talking real quick about this fight, this is just very standard Carl versus Korg. Reverb is physical damage, and so he takes less. But there's also no buffs or armor breaks, and so I am going to have to do light attacks after some heavies. So that's basically what we're doing here. Beyond that, cancel into specials. So back to Quicksilver, I will say I have underused him as a planer. I think a large part of that is just because for a long time I wasn't comfortable with him, and we only had one or two, if that, other people in my battle group, love how he sidestepped me there, who were comfortable with him. When I was not, they often had other things to do, and I just wasn't making it a priority, and the fights that he could take were normally handled. Now, this war was an excellent reason to finally change that, because our opponents placed an America Chavez boss and banned both Spider-Man 2099 and and Scorpion, leaving basically Quicksilver. And honestly, I think he's the best option anyway, as we will talk about when we get there. But yeah, I'll just say I was wrong to not use him more sooner. Full credit to Vega and MP, two of my alliance mates who have been fans of his for a lot longer, as well as being over in BG1. I mentioned MP and Vega first because they have made multiple videos talking about how much value Quicksilver has. But yeah, I'm late on this one, and I intend to make up for lost time. But talking about this fight right here, I still despise Quicksilver's defensive kit. Funniest waste of an indestructible boost, I think, in my entire career. Whatever. Like, that's, yeah, we can all laugh at it. I'm already laughing at it, just how stupid that was. I probably shouldn't have even used it. Because we all know if you get hit by Quicksilver, invulnerability boost is probably not going to save you. So I don't even know why I did that. But we're also using Nick Fury for a reason here, because he's overtuned. His bleeds don't make any sense. You don't have to work for anything. And I just blazed through that without a care in the world. So yeah, he's down. We move on to Spider-Ham, which is going to be even easier. Now, if you want to take this fight as cleanly as you possibly can, then you're going to want to heavy counter the special one. Highly recommend it. I didn't feel super comfortable with it here. I do it with Killmonger. I don't love Nick's heavy animation, and so you're going to see me not go for it. And this fight is not going to be its absolute most clean, beautiful version. But look, we just got to our first bar of power and the opponent is below 50% health. So, who cares? Nick is just so busted. Anywho, this will be over soon. And then we'll get on to the next one. Like, you do want to be careful, obviously, because Spider-Ham can be dangerous. The single most important thing about this fight, no matter who you're using, is just dump the special one as soon as you get it. Unless you have, like, a permanent on True Strike, like from somebody like Killmonger, there is no reason not to do that. Always throw the special one as soon as you get it. And that's about it. That's his primary defensive threat, and we answered it well there. I'm going to go ahead and use Absorbing Band with Magma here. Notice the pre-fight did not show up when I first used it. I caught it this time, but that's also why I have my habit of backing out of fights and then coming back in, which allows the pre-fight to take hold. Now, Carl is perfectly capable of taking Terrax in Uru either way, especially because I don't have another fight after this and I don't have to heal up. It doesn't really matter how much damage I take. But this fight is definitely quicker and safer in Magma. It's, yeah, less than 20 seconds. Carl versus Terrax is one thing that I feel slightly guilty for as a designer. Moving on to this Sasquatch here. This is definitely a very good Doom fight, and we thought about sending it. I don't think it quite lined up over here when I was doing the plan. We probably could have found one, but I also know that MP Blaze has done this exact fight over in BG2. He took it again this war, if you want to check out his channel, because his video is already out. But bluntly, I was like, this works fine, I'll be boosted, I'll just take it. And so that's what I did. And what you'll see here is that this one, unlike that Nick Fury versus Quicksilver fight, this one you do want to invuln for. Because the combination of Wrath of Tanarak and power efficiency on this node can be very spooky, and you can easily eat multiple special 3s if you are not careful. So as long as you are comfortable dealing with a couple of those, thanks to the invuln boost, then this becomes a pretty simple fight where you don't care about the Unstoppable because, again, you have slow, and so you're turning that off. You don't care that much about the healing because you're probably going to blitz past it in a detonation anyway. And then it's just a slow game. I don't even really care that much about the block damage because Quicksilver's block proficiency is okay, but more importantly, I am never not at 6+ debuffs on the opponent, which means I'm maxing out inequity, and I am taking less damage in general. I basically have 50% more effective health at all times. There's a good reason that I use that mastery a lot. So we're going to go ahead and go into terminal velocity here. We're going to have a nice long pause. Things would be going even better if Sasquatch threw his special 1 here, or sorry, his special 2 here. It would be very alarming if he threw his special 1. He made us wait for it a little bit, but now we're on it. If possible, we're going to get to the, I think I'm going for the special 2 here, but it probably depends on how much we have left in terminal velocity when I get there. Yeah, you can see I make the call to just go ahead and throw the special 1 anyway to lock in that damage bonus from terminal velocity. I didn't think I was going to get to the special 2, and I think that was the correct call. He is going to go ahead and falter us here. We do not have the miss counter yet. We're not at 300. Very important to remember that and not just get used to having that utility up, because that is one of Quicksilver's biggest weaknesses, is that if a fight goes on longer, he just kind of has to restart in the middle of it. So keep an eye on that. But now we're just building back up. It's a question of how much whiplash do we need after doing that big chunk of damage to get him from 40% to 0. Despair is obviously helping us mitigate his own healing. I do make the call to go ahead and push him to the special 3 here as Wrath is running out. He throws it. We have the invulnerability boost. Getting hit actually kind of helps us because it gives us more power. That burns some of his power. We're going to hit him here and then back off. Or no, sorry, we're going to push him red again. And then I am just going to throw the special 2 here with the detonation, and that is going to finish it. I forgot that I decided to go for that. Now, obviously, if that hadn't finished him, he would have thrown another special 3. We still had 2 charges left on our invuln. We would have finished it out. Despair, mitigating his healing, means that you can afford to miss on that fight. So I just want to call out that that was not as risky as it looked. So now onto the main event. We have this Chavez boss. Solid placement with Spidey Band, unless your opposing alliance knows how to use Quicksilver. Now, I dueled for this, and I intentionally baited out that heavy at the start, because I wanted to get going on my momentum. And it doesn't matter that she procs her dimensions when she charges her heavy. That's normally what you fear with everyone else, especially when America is stun immune. Doesn't matter on this fight at all, because you just dex, you get a wither, it gets rid of her dimensions. And that is why, in the words of MP, who took this same fight in Battle Group 2, this is probably the easiest boss fight I have ever done. Getting parried notwithstanding, she definitely fooled me there. I thought I had a little more time. Quicksilver's dashback is longer than most, and I think that is definitely why that happens. Bit of a bummer, but that's okay. But even with that parry, that is why we invulned. Or sorry, not why we invulned. We did a regen boost, but his evade actually saved us. Nice little piece of utility there, as long as you're not capitalizing on it too much. But like I said, this is probably the easiest boss fight I've ever taken, because I don't have to worry about Mystic Dispersion. I don't have to worry about pretty much any of America's kit. If she throws special 1s and gets power, I reverse it. If she throws special 2s, because I'm controlling the dimensions, it's never unblockable. I'm just hitting her until I get enough resources to finish her off, and that's the whole thing. I'm not even taking that much block damage because I don't have to block. I don't have to bait out anything. I am just continuing to hit her until the fight's over. So this one was really, honestly, almost trivial. It requires you being good with Quicksilver. But a lot of people have him, and I think he's probably being underused on offense. So if you have him and you're not comfortable with him, I do recommend getting used to it if you can. I know the combos are a bit of an ask for a lot of people. They threw me for a long time. I got used to it basically by just counting. So you go ahead and throw that. That does a lot. We are in terminal velocity, so we got some of the damage. I'm not sure we actually timed that right, but that's okay. We get hit once. It does hurt because of the opportunist, but we're just going to finish this out. Yeah, but like I said, I just count. I do the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like, I do that in my head because that helps me manage the tempo of what he's doing. And that means that I actually know I'm landing 1, 2, 3 as I'm then throwing the specials. Because that is the hardest part, right? Is chaining the combos into specials safely. But if you just, I don't know, embrace your inner child and really count, it's actually kind of satisfying, in my opinion. And everything just lines up that much easier. And yeah, there we go. Very clean boss solo. Easier than anything I've done on Boss Island with anybody else this season and the last several, probably ever, like I said. It was the right tool for the job. I'm not going to become a Quicksilver main anytime soon, I don't think. The bans did push this way a little bit, but I definitely think as a planner I will be assigning that if we see America Chavez as boss again. Because yeah, that was perfect. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think in the comments, and until next time, thanks so much for watching, and take care.